Guys, so I'm in the van for the support crew for Josh Quigley for his Guinness World Record Challenge. We're less than 12 hours away, guys. Yep, less than 12 hours away from breaking that title, and he's going to smash it. So I've got two of the guys in here in the support crew. It's Jay and Dino. They're going to talk about you know, how they know Josh and all the rest of it, and what's happening logistically and all around the place, and give people an insight into what's it. Because I've been in here for the last hour, and it is intense. It is almost like a military campaign all the way through, which I think ticks Dino's box. Aye, he's laughing. See, aye. So, Jay, you know, like, tell me a bit about, you know, about yourself. You know, who are you? How do you know Josh and all the rest of it?
Where can I start? So I'm Jay, and I've known Josh for about 4 years.
Yep.
The first time I ever met Josh was in April on his first attempt. It's amazing, really, because you know, I was just a guy, obviously from London, and I followed Josh's story for such a long time in terms of his injuries and all the kind of adversities he suffered over the past few years. We got chatting on LinkedIn, which is a social networking site for most of you that might not know, and basically he invited me out to his first attempt after some of the stuff that I was trying to do for people, for myself. So when I lost my job, I was made redundant. I set up my own charity. I just helped people through a lot of depression and mental health, that kind of this kind of stuff. And Josh really appreciated that. And then I started to make posts for people that were unemployed and just trying to help them, really. So he invited me out with the crew. I met Dino for the first time. I always call him. I always look at him and go, Dino. He always laughs his head off.
Funny how you want to do that, eh? There's
yeah.
Josh now right in front of us. We're just going past them.
Oh, it's amazing, really. Like, you know, I'm just a guy from London. We don't really see people like this just doing extraordinary things. You know, you can pretty much listen to it and hear about it in the stories on the news all you want, but to actually see it live, you know, going through the early hours of the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, seeing this guy pushing, you know, 20 mile an hour plus on a bike.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's just the work ethic on this guy is amazing, and I really do hope that it inspires not just our generation, but the younger generation to, you know, go after their goals and dreams, really. So
yeah. Do you think you have to have a screw loose to do this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing I want to do is an Ironman in 2 years' time, so I'd never dream of doing this at all. Dino's a bit of a nutcase. He did, was it the Ben Nevis you did?
Yeah, you're just Ben Nevis yesterday.
Ring of Steel.
And then got back in the van, straight from doing that.
Sure did, yeah.
Aye.
Nice 8.5 hour run and then back in the van for 8 hours.
So Dino, how do you know Josh?
Basically, I followed him for a while. Just on all his social medias, he's got a lot of them. So he announced that he was going to be up here doing an event, and I just told him, like, if he needed a hand, give me a shout.
Yeah.
He replied back pretty much straight away, so he must have been desperate. And said, get in touch with Paul. Gave Paul a buzz, and then that was it. I was roped in and been there ever since. Try and add a bit of humour to it as well and keep the morale up a little bit. But yeah. It's been great. Being a local guy, it's quite nice because you get to see all the local villages coming out and supporting Josh, who's obviously from down south, which doesn't often happen up here. We're a little bit chuchterish is what they call it. So yeah, it's been fun. It's great to see him.
What type of things do you guys get involved in then, logistically wise? You know, what are the things that people would want to know at home?
Yeah, so basically I think the easiest way to describe it is there's myself and Jay here, but we're just two of many. There's a lot of other guys in the background. There's a social media team, there's the physios, there's masseuses, there's nutritionists,
photographers,
there's media, social media. So although we're the front end and the support crew, there's a huge crew in the back who make this happen. We get the luxury to drive around in the van and watch his bum wiggle around for a lot. So the rest of them get to do all the hard work. We get to do it. But logistically here, all that we're really doing is providing Josh with what he wants when he needs it, and also giving him a friendly nudge to make sure that he gets what he needs.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the first to admit that at times you can get in your own head and the plans that you set out can be broken. So we're there to try and support it and get him through. He's on the bike for a long time, so there's a lot of morale boosting and there's a lot of trying to calm him down, and then also taking his input and try to deliver what he wants. It's not always easy, but it gets done. and we just try and furnish that request for him.
Yeah.
Some of them, other ones we just tell him that he needs to wise up and get a coffee and then we get going.
It's mental when you think about it, because 100 miles to me on a bike's forever. For him, it's just a nip round the block.
I couldn't imagine of it. He's done over 2,000 miles now. I feel like just we've seen that he's hit a wall a few times. So to actually have the mental willpower and just the character to actually just push through that, especially through the night. He's going 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. He gets back to Mary Cooter House Hotel. It's a full-on operation, and he has his massage for an hour. Then there's the timing with his food to get his dinner in, and then he's back out on the road 2 hours later after he's had a kip. So it's a bit like, reminds me kind of like the SAS sort of kind of military training, where it's just a bit full on all the time and it's just a bit of sleep deprivation, just sort of just loads of willpower that goes into it, coupled with a great team. So I've really enjoyed being on this project, especially with Dino, because it's always good to have some good company, and sometimes this project can get quite intense and serious at times, and it's always good to have a great team member. So
I think on that note that Paul really gets Josh through some of the hard times, and he leans on him, which is good. So we try and take a lot of the other stuff off of Paul so that he can really be there to support Josh when he needs it. And also Martin, up to a certain degree, although he's not here at the end, he was a huge support for Josh at the start. So there's certain individuals that he really leans on. So I guess as a support crew, what we're really trying to do is free up those people to be there for Josh when he needs them. So if it means that we have to deal with his piddly pants, then we'll have to deal with them. But
knew you'd get that in there somewhere.
Yeah, I had to get you told me to do it.
You're not the one that has to smell it and wash it every single night.
Yeah, plenty of hand sanitizer and some gloves, But no, it's been great fun. It's been hard work, but at the end of the day, we're here to support Josh, and whatever we're going through is nothing compared to what this individual who's just ridden past us right now is. Yeah. So we have to keep that in perspective as well. So.
And it's a constant stopping and starting. I mean, I've seen you guys, it's like every single lay-by, just waiting for him to go past and just getting ahead of him, waiting for him to go past, getting ahead of him, waiting for him to go past.
Yeah, so obviously there's certain rules of Guinness as well, so we have to take 2 minutes of footage every hour, obviously to just keep track of obviously Josh actually being out on the road and getting sort of the numbers that he needs to get. Also these guys, obviously they know this route off the back of their hands, whereas me, I'm just from London, so they know all the perfect spots where we can catch Josh on an uphill, where he's going a bit slower. We can hand him food and drinks and obviously just give him the boost he needs. So it is all a bit of a logistic nightmare, but Dino, I'll tell you, he's kept me in check as well.
Dino's a bit of military precision, isn't he?
He's military, but he does it with a smile on his face, and I've worked with some pretty serious people, so it's honestly it's great to work with people like Dino. And Paul, like Dino mentioned, without shadow of a doubt, has absolutely led this team to something pretty amazing. He's just gone past now, Josh, as you can see, in good spirits. There he goes. Paul Higginson, should never be. He should always be recognised for what he's done with his team. Just a bunch of guys that really didn't really know each other that well. And somehow we formed to be a fantastic team with different skill sets. So couldn't have asked for anything better, really.
Possibly the laws of attraction.
Oh, I don't believe in all that, but I think Dino might.
I see, I do.
You do?
Yeah, Josh does as well.
Yeah, well, he does. He has some funny things he likes to bring up, doesn't he, Dino?
What's that?
The laws of attraction.
You attract people to you that really, are going to work with you, because you're of the same nature.
Yeah, I think his story just pulled me to him as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, these guys have their own story as well, so I can't really sort of. We could go on for hours and hours on end, but at the end of the day, this is all about Josh. And we're just here to support him, make sure he gets the food he needs, the drinks he needs, and just make sure he's at his peak to actually smash this out of the park. So we're going to try and finish at 4 o'clock, which is the deadline for this. He's got the ceremony at midday. At Braemar Highland Park, and it's going to be such a massive event for Josh, and we're all looking forward to seeing it happen.
So now we've spoken about the support crew and Josh, we need to also mention the people on the route.
The people are amazing, eh?
It is ridiculous. We had a great turnout with a boy in the first time. Ballater this time, we kind of missed it with the pass last time, so this has been great to see them out, and it's been a huge crowd almost every time. We've got Dinnett's got load of people out, and then at the other side we've got Ride Cafe. There's a a crew joins there all the time, and then we move on to Drum Oak, and there's a huge amount of people coming out. So part of the process for this, for me, is just meeting some of these people and hearing their little stories that they take away from seeing Josh and cheering him on. They literally watch the tracker and make sure they can come out and support him. I don't think you can really ask more of people than that. And I know for a fact that Josh appreciates every single one of them. He knows where they all stand. He knows what they look like, and he makes sure that we speak to them to make.
He actually goes out of his way, doesn't he? He's actually changed his route deliberately, even though it's possibly not the best thing for him to do. He goes and changes it regardless.
Yeah, we just saw he went up to Ballater and he went round the turning point twice, stopped near, I don't know what the pub's called, Dino might know, but he stopped near the pub and actually everyone's there, you know, he's just like, making sure everyone just recognises him and just, you know, keeping people in high spirits. And I think that is...
Whereas most people would be so focused they would just go and just move on.
Yeah,
but he's really appreciative of everybody.
Yeah, so
I guess you see the focus, and he gives all the people who make the real effort the big smiles, and then the minute that's passed, he gives us the grimace, and we see the hard bit of it. But he makes sure that everyone sees the smile, and he makes sure he gives them a wave.
Yeah.
He makes so many people's days, and then you see him cycle off, and you can see the pain. But I guess that's testament to him more than anything else. He wants to make sure that he tries to make everyone smile, which is great. So we take that.
What's the one thing you'd want to say to Josh right now?
For me, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna achieve so much within the next 5 years, and you know, Josh has so many big plans, and we're all looking forward to seeing what happens.
Tour de France 2026.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people out there in that sort of bracket that's really competitive. So, but I think with the work ethic that Josh has and the commitment that he has to obviously this sport and cycling, I can't see no doubts as to why he can't achieve what he wants to achieve in 2026.
Yeah. So that's a great long-term goal. I think short-term, just a shower.
Yeah.
A shower would be great.
Yeah.
He's got a nice odour at the moment, and I'm sure his girlfriend won't want to see or smell that. So yeah, a shower would be very, very beneficial for everyone.
Yeah.
Is that your parting words then, Dino?
That is my parting words. Josh, have a shower.
You're minging, mate.
You're gross.
That's an understatement, I tell you. It's an understatement.
It's about time you had a dicht.
Thanks very much, guys.
No.
And that's it. From the crew and the van. Jay's wanting to say finally one last thing.
Keep it too long. I just want to give a massive shout out, like I said, to Ride Cafe, that's been the HQ for the team. They've kept us pretty filled up with food and obviously helped Josh when they can. And if anyone's seen, I'm wearing a kilt and a t-shirt from D-Side Kilts in Banbury. I want to give a massive shout out to them, who actually gave me one of their kilts and lots of t-shirts for the team free of charge. So that just shows just some of the lovely sort of communities and businesses that are willing to put themselves
together
out there.
to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So massive shout out to them, massive shout out to Ride, and a massive shout out to the team. Thank you so much.
A rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for any more really. So thank you so much.
Excellent. And thank you so much, guys. Get behind us. You know, Josh has got, this is one of the stepping stones to his journey as he carries on. Remember, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So he will go on further and further. So get behind him, like and follow the page. And if you get a chance, throw a bit of money into his cause. Please feel free to do that. And until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker from the team today. Bye-bye for now.